What's good with Fat Gang? It's your girl Mikki checking in, guys. And today, oh my gosh, guys, today I am super excited because not only are we joined with Miss O of O Customs, but we are also kicking off season 5 of our Boss Chat in the Den. And this is 1 year for us. So I'm super excited, y'all. So, oh my gosh, I am going to try to hold my composure throughout this interview. But without further ado, I am going to go ahead and hand it over to O so she can let you guys know who she is and what it is that she does.
Okay, congratulations first off.
Thank
I'm trying to
you.
look at the camera. Congratulations. Oh, I'm so excited. I love your boss chats. Definitely be on the YouTube. Okay.
Thank you.
But everybody, my name is Oriel. I'm the owner of O Customs, where I do custom tumblers, aka cups, or should I say the other way around, apparel and various other resin items. If you want it customized, just ask. That's pretty much what I do. I'm in the business of customization for both personal and business. I love doing both. So it's just I don't know how to explain it, but
But I mean, I love that. And I mean, it takes a very creative person to do strictly custom work because somebody may say, no, I want it just like this to the T, and you have to execute it. But then you may have
right.
somebody like, I don't know, use your imagination. You just like, well, okay.
I like both types. I do.
Hmm.
Um, the imagination ones is more they give me a couple of things that they like and kind of where they're headed, and then I go from there. And then I usually show them a few options to go with. Um, Sometimes it takes a little bit more time
Hmm.
to get them to see what they want because they might be like, you know what, I like this from this one, this from this one. And then they thought of something all of a sudden themselves, and it's like, okay, now let me put this together.
Hmm.
So because you really got to think like when a person answers your questions about what they're like and stuff like that and what they want the cup to represent or the shirt, whatever the item is, you got to kind of sit back and think and come up with stuff. Sometimes I come up with stuff like instantly. It's like, oh, this, oh, it's like something you see on TV. It's like, pew, 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 real quick. Stuff comes in my head, and then sometimes it takes a little bit more thought.
Hmm.
But I end of the day is the result from the customer that's what it's for. That's what
Yeah.
it's about. When they get it, that's what it's about.
I love that. And so you've been in business for how long now?
2 years.
2 years. Well,
2 years.
congratulations on that. I know that was no
Thank
easy
you.
feat.
Definitely not. Definitely not. But I love it. Definitely seen progression um throughout time. So that's a very good thing. Very good.
That is. And I know, a lot of people, they started their business because they needed maybe an additional source of income. Or maybe when everything happened in 2020, they were like, okay, my job letting people go. It's time to tap into some creativeness to get a couple extra coins in here. So it's like I know that that was a very crazy year for a lot of people. So how was it for you, like dealing with all that was going on and being like, okay, I'm gonna start my business and go for it?
Definitely that was the time where I decided to start my business. It was like okay, like I wasn't working, definitely needed extra funds. I was getting funds, but I was like, okay, everyone's getting this money and kind of blowing. I'm like, girl, bye, start your business. That's what I did. So I was like, listen, at least I have something to look, I'm building towards something with this. It's not just like, oh, hey, let's go do this. So
Right.
that's what I did. And it was like my birthday month.
Mhm.
And I was like, this is your birthday gift to yourself.
Yeah.
So I registered like I did all everything before my birthday. Registered, did everything, even though I didn't like start pushing my business then, but I like set the foundation for it then, and then slowly started coming. But I was doing like I always did like crafting and stuff on the side, whether
Mhm.
it was crochet, cutting boards, like pictures. So I used to do like a lot of the pictures to wood.
Mm-hmm.
before, just making t-shirts before there was a Cricut machine.
Yeah.
You know, you head into that Walmart, getting the vinyl letters or the transfers. So I
Mm-hmm.
used to do all that stuff previously. So, but when I fell in love with cup making, that was just a whole nother thing. So I just kind of like, it's like, hey, people can do this as a business. I didn't know. But then I
Mm-hmm.
kind of started wrapping it into there.
Yes. And you just touched on a lot of different things. So for one, we always talk about like everyone was getting those little checks and we're gonna say what it was. Some people was like, oh, time to go shopping. It's like where you buying
Right.
clothes to go. You going to your house. Like, let's just be for real. So I love how you took that money. You was like, I'm gonna make it work for me. Because I don't know if they're gonna just be giving this out every month. I don't know if this so I'm gonna make this work for me. And I mean that was dope because what I did, we decided we needed a fresh start with our business. We needed a fresh start with life. So we decided we were gonna move and start our business. So it was like you have to take that jump. And like you said, let you see where the money went. You know what I'm saying? Let you
Yeah.
see it's starting to work for you. And that's huge to really even get in that thought process at a time where it's so much other stuff going on, you
Yeah,
know.
I think another reason why it was important to me as well was because, and I am towards later on, in May, I'm going to be doing, where part of my proceeds go towards lupus and fibromyalgia because I do suffer with that. So there was times where I'm at work, and the money just wasn't lining up because I'm out, because I'm down. You know, there's times where I was out for 2 weeks or whatever like that. So I had to figure out, okay, well, if I start this now, you know what I mean? Like I was looking towards the long run as well. Like if it
Mm-hmm.
starts to work out, then at least I know when I'm down from work, I still have something coming in, you
Right.
know? So, because this is something that I can do within my means, still moving around and stuff like that. So, yeah, very important.
And that's definite. And like you said, it's you started doing one thing. Like you said, you were making shirts before there was a cricket. For all y'all who understand that struggle, y'all know. Um, but you said you were tapping into different things in the crafting arena and you found that your tumblers and your cups were like your passion. So to me, that speaks to just because you start in one area does not mean you cannot go to another area. It doesn't mean that that's meant to be your forever. Sometimes that happens, but sometimes you have to be open to learning what it is that really captures you. And
That's true.
yeah,
That's so true.
and that's like it's gonna be your baby, like.
I definitely say when I started to, like I said, I've like you said, I've done other crafts,
Mm-hmm.
but when you begin to personalize them for people, um, even when I just make cups that come, you know, I'm like, oh, you know what, this cup's gonna be nice. Let me make this. Somebody's gonna love it. It's different than when someone says, hey, can you personalize a cup? Because it's I put love into all my cups though, y'all.
Yes.
But it's a different feeling when you make someone's vision a reality.
Right.
It's a completely different feel. It's just like it gives it so much more meaning when you're doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No, and
that
I do.
definitely.
I love that. And it's because you become attached to that journey. It's kind of like for those who like go get tattoos. I have five. But there's a story behind, there's a story behind those tattoos. So if you have a good, genuine artist who's doing the work, they're gonna be asking you, so what made you get this tattoo? What does this mean to you? And they become part of that journey from that tattoo. So it's just like what you do with crafting. You become part of that journey or that meaning behind that item. So for those of you who are like, oh, it's just cups. No, it's not. It's not just a cup. It's not just a t-shirt. It's a lot of passion behind it. It's drive behind it. And there's a story behind every custom item that you make, whether it's your personal story or your customer story. There is a story to be had. And that's why I don't think enough people understand about the crafting arena.
Definitely, definitely. I love that analogy. I love it because it's true. There is a story behind it, and some people don't realize too. For me personally, I'm gonna find someone to help me because I can be, people think because you're creative, you have to be creative in every area,
Mhm.
but I'm not. But I know what I'm trying to get through. And what, like you said, the way you said it was a perfect analogy because it is a story behind every
Mhm.
personalized cup. It is unique. And when you give a gift like that, the meaning behind it is more than, hey, I just picked this up at Walmart, you know? So I gotta stop getting that Walmart like that. Okay, no.
But no, seriously, it is.
Yeah, it definitely is. So I love that analogy. Love it.
Thank you, girl. But like, okay, so how has it been for you balancing? Because I know you're a mom, you want to have a personal life somewhere in there, and then you have this business that you like, it's going to be here. I am going up in this business. So how do you balance that? Because that's a hard thing for some people.
I think when I first started out, you feel like, oh, hey, when you first start, it's more you're getting started, you're kind of in it, you kind of, you still feeling tired. And I think a lot of us, I know I have personally, it's like it comes this point where it's like you're so focused on your business, you don't even think straight. Like you don't see nothing out. You're like, it's like laser focus. I gotta do, I gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
And social media is a big part of that.
Yes.
Because if it was just down to creating, leave the paperwork, leave the social media, you'd be just fine.
Yeah.
But it's like, you have other things to do. So it just becomes like everything else kind of goes in one area and you have to find that balance. So if you are watching this and you're gonna just start, learn the balance early because sometimes you have to put down the phone. I put my phone on do not disturb. I found that button last year by a mistake and it became my favorite button on my phone um, because once I found that, even when I first found that, I still didn't use it, but like I used it, but it was like set it from 12 at night to like
Mm-hmm.
7 in the morning or 8 in the morning because I'm like, okay, so first thing in the morning, I don't touch my phone. I
Mm-hmm.
learned to stop doing that because usually I'm like, oh my God, like you have to learn to put it where it belongs. Like schedule yourself like a real work day so that way you're not missing out on your kids. And it, even if you are like really try to schedule it, like not everyone has kids, but even still, your personal life, things like that, schedule your time. They have this thing called like a 24-hour smart work day or something like that. But you have to learn to balance it because what used to take us a really long time to do sometimes doesn't take us as long. So it's not like you have to sit like for 30 hours. I don't care if you put an hour aside just to go through your social media for the day. Don't make it an all day process. Like I learned to get on, get off. People are like, oh, you're not on. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I go on later on after the kids go to bed and it's kind of downtime. I'll scroll through sometimes. But learn that balance because if you have kids, especially, you don't want to be where you're like, "Ah, give me a moment, give me a moment, give me a moment. And that's what starts to happen. And, it's the truth, but that's what starts to happen. So you want to keep that balance where you're like, hey, so now like the kids, they did it before, but it's like when you're trying to record everything, trying to do everything, it's like, my son helps me make stickers. He loves making stickers. So sometimes like if we know someone has a kid or something like that, we're gonna include them in there, just the kid, I don't care
Mm-hmm.
who the purchase is for. My daughter makes stickers, she does her stuff. She sometimes helps. My older son, he doesn't even like computers, but he helps me make my mock-ups sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to slowly integrate them into doing something so we're still all spending time together because
Mm-hmm.
it becomes draining. I'm like, hey, well, at least you know what you did. And we can watch a movie. Like I set aside movie time. You
Mm-hmm.
know, sometimes we play games. It's just you have to remember why you started. Even though, yeah, money's good, but you gotta remember why you started. You started for this. You started for the freedom, not to be locked down to the phone and the computer. So yeah, you gotta balance it out.
And
Just
I
the
do.
little things.
I do. I love that because, like you said, you have to find that time. I found that do not just no. I found was it the away button or whatever on IG, and it changed my life because my phone was always going off because I have my YouTube on like my personal phone. So if anyone messages me from like my YouTube page, it comes to my personal phone. But if anybody messages for like my clothing line, it comes to that business phone. So both phones be like going off the
Oh
whole.
my God.
So I finally put them both on do not disturb, and then I set my Instagram to away so I don't get those notifications coming through. I'm really bad on in the morning checking my phone though. I am really bad on that. But but I do now give myself that time at night. So I'm not constantly checking it throughout the night. So 9 o'clock comes, my kids are in bed, me and my husband, it's like our time before we crash because it's been
Hmm.
a long day. Um, and then I don't usually check until around 8 a.m. And then I give myself, like you said, a couple hours. Okay, so from 8 to 9, let's just say, I'm going to be checking and responding to messages or anything like that. Then you have to have your time that you're going to plan out your stuff. You're going to have your time where you are recording, and if it doesn't get done in the scheduling, you record what you have set. Don't go into the other time because if you keep doing that, it's going to be 3 hours after your cutoff time. And now you didn't miss your self-care time for the hour before the kids get home from school because you didn't bring your business into it. So um
Yeah.
and giving myself that time, I try to give myself an hour and a half every day. Um, whether I want to watch a movie, take a long bath, sit and just stare at the ceiling. It's my time to do what I want. And I try to set that time separate from my husband, separate from my kids. It's just me. Um, and what we found, the kids do help. They do help us with the business. They help sometimes with my YouTube. We do our movie nights every time we eat dinner. It's phones off. We're in front of the TV and we're going to eat. That's like our family time. We're watching Family Matters
I
right
feel
now.
you on that one.
We almost done with season 4. So that's what we have been kind of doing, to get that family time in. We're not, because that is important. And like you said, that's why you started. You started to be able to provide for them, but they still have to have you in the process.
That part right there.
Yeah. So yeah, and it takes some time. Don't beat yourself up if it's taking you a little longer to find that balance because it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect every day. Some days you
It
may
sure isn't.
get that me time, but just make sure the next day you make sure you get that me time in. So
Yeah.
yeah, and so what I want to know is where do you see your business in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years,
Next
ooh,
5 years.
that's a great question. Well, I I find myself still doing what I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
because, of course, like I want to be able to teach my kids to do some of the other things that they can help with
Mm-hmm.
within reason. But my biggest thing is not just like I don't want to get huge. I don't want to be selling out at Walmart and nothing like that. Certain things maybe, but I want to still be able to put my hands on what I do. So it's always a personalized touch. So I want to have more clients, more customers, but I want to be able to maintain a size where I can still do what I do.
Okay.
So that's what's important to me. So do I want better items to come in that I can work on? I do. Like I plan on getting some new machines. So those are things I plan on progressing with. So still great quality, but some new products coming in,
Okay.
whether it is machines to work with or new items such as new style cups, things, new style hoodies or whatever it's going to be. Still same great quality, but things that might make it easier for the machines. I still always want to be the person making your cup,
Mm-hmm.
doing I don't want to lose that personalized touch because it's gone to you know,
Yeah. And no, I do. I love that. But what I also love is you speak to that side that we don't normally hear because you do. Sometimes you hear people when they say they want to grow their business, they talk about, yep, and then I'm gonna start hiring all these people. I'm gonna get all these machines to do the work for me. Yeah, I'm gonna go over here and then this company is gonna make everything. And like you said, in some cases it works, but in some
yeah.
cases you do lose the personalization that comes with that item. And I can say the same thing. Like I want to always have my hands on my personal items because no one is going to give it as much detail. No one is going to give it as much love as you because this is your baby, not the next person's, you know?
Right.
And
Exactly.
and like you said, even though like we teach our husbands, like I teach my husband, teach my kids how to do what I do, they're gonna do it how you say do it, but their way. So it's not gonna have Mikki's touch. It's not gonna have O's touch. It's gonna be done, to a, a quality that we approve of, but it's still
Right.
like you said, it's certain things. It's like, no, I got that. I'm gonna do this. You do that. I got
Now
this.
you stamp that paper over there.
You go ahead and package it up, but I'm gonna make it. So it
Yeah.
is that. But even to me, it takes a quality of person to have learned enough in business to understand that. Because some people they like to delegate, they delegate, and then before you know it, they just sitting back and watching. But you lose that. But it takes a certain minded individual to realize, nope, that's me. That's gonna
That's
stay.
a hard balance. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it is. Especially like you said, them orders coming in how you want them to. You like, yes, baby. Woo woo. Hold on. Give me a
Right.
break. I'm gonna need 2 extra days on this cup because I gotta stop. I'm not doing nothing today. you know,
Hmm.
and being able to say that. Because we all want these multiple orders. But let's just say it's been 14 days straight. You've been rocking and rolling, rocking and rolling. It is okay to say, I'm not doing nothing today. Those orders are gonna wait till tomorrow. Today, I'm not doing anything. And always build in when you do custom orders. If you tell someone it's going to be done in 3 days, you have exactly 3 days to do that. And maybe that gives you no rest. Maybe you're going to get more orders that same day. Always give yourself a day or two leeway when you do a custom item.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I know what I could do in it. And when you first start, a lot of people, we always want to try to give them the fastest time, the fastest time. I'm like, mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Because life be life and things
Yes.
be happening. And depending on what kind of item it is, like I try to tell people, the type of order you get, the type of order that you have will depend on where it's at in my check, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm doing a handmade cup, the order could have been given to me a week ago versus if you give me a printed cup order, I might send it out the same day or tomorrow, depending on what's going on. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So people have to understand it's like the emergency room. It's like, what's your emergency?
Okay. For real.
What I'm doing it.
Yes. I mean, I had to learn that the hard way too. You like, oh, okay, I can do this in this amount of time. And then something happens, life happens. Or sometimes you just wake up and you like, I'm not doing nothing. I just need this day. You want to be able to give yourself that leeway. That's something if I'd have knew and learned from the jump, it would have made my beginning so much easier. I would have had way more hair on my head because I lost a lot in the first couple months.
I think everybody did.
Yes.
It's like if I would have known then what I know now,
Mm,
like that's one of my things that I definitely um would say. Like if I would have known the things that I know now, I probably wouldn't have done certain things,
yeah.
like wouldn't have got certain things, but that's okay because as long as you're learning and you're
Hmm.
growing from it, plus our community is great. It's amazing. So some of the things I did not have to learn the hard way, but there's still always that, always that.
Yeah. And so, what is other than time management and then giving yourself additional time, which also falls under time management, what is one thing that you would tell someone just starting? Like if you could say, nope, don't do
Just
it like that,
starting,
do this.
I would say you don't learn too fast. If that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
don't learn too fast
Mm-hmm.
because I think that became a problem because you're always trying to learn everything. especially when you're doing it on your own. You're trying, oh, I gotta learn how to do this. Oh, I gotta learn. Yes, you have to learn it, but like if you're learning everything within a few days time span, it's not gonna be like 'cause we're trying to learn and
Mhm.
output it at the same time. Take your time learning each step.
Yes.
That's the thing. Just don't. Not saying you can't learn more than one thing at once, but know your pace. Don't
Hmm.
try to learn too much at one time because then it's gonna get lost in translation.
It is.
Um,
And certain some
that's
things,
a big thing.
yeah, and some things it can be one little thing that you do. You should have hit left and you hit right or whatever. You should have only pressed it for 20 seconds instead of 25, and that can ruin what you're working on. So
Yes.
like learning hot peel and cold peel, that right there alone.
Woo! I know what you're talking about.
I was like, oh my God, what's supposed to be hot? What's supposed to be cold? So it's like, really, don't just think, I know what I'm doing. You just peel it when no, you have to really, like you said, take your time and learn those differences. Um, there is a lot of steps to everything that you do. And even when you feel like you got a good grasp of it and you can do this in your sleep, I learned never get cocky because when you do, it don't matter what you thought you knew, you gonna mess up.
You know what's funny? And that's true. And as much as I do certain things, I could press 1,000 shirts, but within that 1,000 shirts, guaranteed, I messed up at least one. And
Yeah.
that's what people don't realize. They don't realize that we have mess ups. We have those things.
Mm-hmm.
We're human, and that's what it is. So always take your time. You can always revisit. And if you haven't done something in a long time, it doesn't hurt to go back and look over because like maybe you haven't done like the other day I did a mouse pad again. I haven't done mouse pads in months. I'm like, hey man, let me double check the temperature on this. You know what I mean? Like, because not everything's created equal, although you think it is. It's not. Do I
Mm-hmm.
want it to curl? Do I want it to fit? So people have to understand you just have to it never hurts to double check because measure twice, cut once. That's what I say.
Yes. And so, what I wanted to do before we head out here, because I feel like we could just keep going, but before we head out here, was just so you could give yourself a chance to show any items for a second if you may have, or just kind of talk about anything you have coming up in the next months or so.
I don't have any items to show right now, but I am shooting for the end of March, beginning of April to do resin tumbler classes. It will be everything will be provided. So they're going to be personal, intimate classes via Zoom. So it will be because I know for me personally, when I did resin classes, it was more like, oh, put it in a group and ask the questions and nobody's no. So
Mhm.
that way when you're walking through it, you have that personalized touch of learning. You can ask me right then and there. I'm gonna start a group too. So it's not like I won't have the group, but when you're learning and you're putting your hands on it's a hands-on Zoom, I'm gonna say. It's a hands-on Zoom.
No, I love
So that's
that.
where
I love
I'm going with that.
Okay.
And like I said, in May for fibromyalgia and lupus awareness, I will be doing special events for that, and also trying to raise money and awareness to go towards the foundation.
Okay.
So that's important to me. So I will be doing that.
All right. No, I love that. And where can anyone find you to shop or just to keep an eye out on them new items, that class, and all this good stuff coming up?
Okay, my website is www.o and that's OH, like oh my goodness, oh custom. uh, So it's www.ocustoms, and that's OHCUSTOMS.com. Or you can follow me on IG, and that's ocustoms with an underscore. And it's pretty much the same. All my social media is on my website. If you go to my Instagram or my Facebook, my link trees are there, which has my IG, my Etsy, my website, um, TikTok. I was trying to remember the name of it, TikTok. So all those are in there. And then like once I put the classes up, those will also be in my link tree as well. So any special items is in there. Also, my affiliate links are in there as well. So if you ever wonder like where I get certain stuff from, those are in there as well. And that's it. All
Okay.
platforms, all festivals.
Yes, I love that. See, y'all have no excuse. It's easy. Old Customs across all platforms. You can hit the IG and get the link tree. Everything you need is there. Her order forms and everything for her tumblers are there. She also does lives on her IG, so you guys can check her out on those. She does them. Sometimes you may catch her. She just has some music on and she's just vibing while she's working on orders. So those be the
That's the
best
TikTok for sure.
lives. Yes. So, but no, I do. I love it. And I'm gonna make sure that, I stay locked in because I'm interested. I've been thinking about doing like tumblers, but I'm like, okay, I got a lot that I'm working on. My earrings, whoo, have been keeping me busy. So I've been loving that. But I have been thinking about getting into tumblers.
I remember I've done earrings, I've done the leather cutout ones, I've done the resin ones. I'm like, listen, my daughter could take over that department. I'm done with her.
Yeah, I've like I found my happy place. One weekend, I think I did like 27 pair of earrings. My husband's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know. I just sat down." I just sat down. Yeah, so it's
It's all
been
about a
really
move.
good for me. Yeah, it is. And I was just mixing, and I'm like, "Oh, this color looks nice. Let me mix it with that." And I was like, "Oh, that looks even better." Like,
You got to, you got to.
just just all about having fun. Um, and last thing before we go here, do any pop up events, and do you post those in your link tree or on your social media?
Well, when I do have pop-ups, I do post them, I do share them. I usually post them and then I keep them pinned on the platforms. I haven't really done any pop-ups. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing pop-ups this year. Um, but I've done some virtual things like that. But for the most part, pop-ups is going to be kind of an up and down thing. So for the most part, you got to catch me on social media. I am accessible by phone as well. And yeah, I
Oh,
am accessible.
yeah.
So another one thing I want to point out real quick for anyone who always like, oh, because sometimes people will feel like, oh, I can't afford this when they want to get a couple of things like a set and stuff like that. You can, it just, I have all sorts of afterpays and stuff like that to make it accessible because believe it or not, I am one of those, I'm a regular folk, guys. I use those services too. So
Okay.
that's something that I just want to let people know. When you want, like, if you want something, just talk to me, let me know. Like, hey, I don't even want this for like 3 months out, but can I do it like this? And then, I'll wait until that time. Or you can set it up and you do the afterpay payments, things like that. There's always ways. I'm a regular person. I get it. And you think I can go out? Listen, I do what I do too.
Okay.
Period. So even for my classes, especially, people be like, oh, if you want, you can afford it for your business. I'm like, listen, I'm a real business person. Okay, I'm not big balling yet. Can
Oh,
I get those payments for those classes?
go ahead.
So
Go
that
ahead. Get that
option would be available as well. Yes,
Yes. And I love that because like you said, you have to let people know I'm still a regular person. Like, I understand when you want something and you got to take a couple steps to get it. Like that's okay. Well, let's talk about it. Message me, let me know, do the afterpay, set it up, just let me know. Give me the heads up and you never know. The fact that I'm a business and I'm a real person, you can actually message me or call me.
right.
We can talk about it. I am
Exactly,
the customer
exactly.
service center. Let's go.
This is her.
Right. This is she. So no, I do. I love that, guys. But I want to thank everyone for joining us here in the den for this episode of Boss Chat. Um, definitely check out O on all her social media platforms. I will make sure everything is linked in the description box down below. So make sure you guys check her out and always show that love and support, you guys. And we have to always make sure that we are highlighting and shining a light upon each other so that we all can grow. There's enough out here for everyone. So make sure you all like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, we will catch you all later. Peace.